Venezuela marked a new milestone in its democratic culture, with the people registering the highest level of participation in the fourth National Public Consultation. 4 Salvadoran citizens who had been missing since March in the United States were found in the so-called terrorist detention center of El Salvador. An Israeli airstrike on Beirut's southern suburbs on Sunday killed senior Hezbollah commander Haitham Ali Tabatabai, along with several others. Hello, welcome from the South. I'm Luis Alberto Matos from the teleSUR studios in Havana, Cuba. We begin with the news. On Sunday, Venezuela marked a new milestone in its democratic culture, with the people registering the highest level of participation in the fourth National Public Consultation that have taken place in the Bolivarian nation. This was stated at the end of the day by the Minister of Commune, Social Movements and Urban Agriculture, Angel Prado, who offered an assessment of the National Day. He referred to the democratic climate that defined the event and assured that the high participation was due to the fact that the communes have been able to appreciate the results of the previous 3 processes, highlighting the organizational work of the communes after completing a tour of several states. He emphasized the democratic environment. For its part, the National Electoral Council highlighted the broad participation of young people in this process, which allows those over 15 years old to exercise their right to vote. And Venezuela Minister of Communes Angel Prado stated a few minutes before the polling stations closed that the fourth nationwide consultation turned out to be a great democratic celebration without incidents.
This consultation was very important to highlight this action by our people today. It is a great day for democracy, with a massive turnout of 8,630 voters at the 5,536 communal polling stations across the country. At this time, the Venezuelan people are still voting, choosing their projects. The National Electoral Council has granted an extension because there are still people at the polling stations, and well, it has been a great democratic celebration. There is no news. There is absolutely nothing negative to report. Everything has been very positive.
Likewise, Prado emphasized that the people responded to the threats from the United States by strengthening their organization and mobilization.
Part of the United States government, because the leadership of Chavismo has been strengthened, because every day the leadership of President Nicolas Maduro is strengthened, but above all, every day we are deepening the construction of the Venezuelan model that we are giving birth to, which is good, with the ideas of Commander Chavez, with the legacy of Commander Chavez. With the resistance throughout all these years of economic warfare and blockade, we have given birth to a political model, and we are going to strengthen it, and that worries the US imperialism. They are as concerned about that as not having control over our natural resources, over our oil. So the United States have decided to threaten the homeland once again. They have decided to place military artillery near our country, and the response of the Venezuelan people to this attempt to instigate psychological warfare in Venezuela is maximum mobilization, organizing commune militia units, organizing the Bolivarian committees of the integral base, working to consolidate the 6,000 communes. It is strengthening the popular movement, popular organization, taking on responsibility. In other words, we have a resistance, but it is a very active resistance. It is a stage we have entered, and we are not afraid of imperialism.
Venezuela had the fourth National Public Consultation in which various communal projects were chosen for the benefit of local communes. From the state of Táchira, our colleague Michelle Ramirez has the details.
From the early hours of the morning, this electoral celebration began in the state of Táchira, in the southwest of the country. This fourth public consultation was marked by active and leading participation from citizens, who came out to choose their prioritized projects. Today we are gathered here specifically in Rivera del Torres for this electoral celebration, where we are presenting 7 communal projects. The people themselves will take part and choose the major project that will help address the problems in our communes.
We are here in the process of consolidating popular power. This is an exercise in democracy in which we ourselves decide which projects can best help the commune.
Youth made their presence felt in this electoral event.
We are here in the municipality of Cardenas participating in the 4th public consultation. One of the projects under consideration is the reconstruction of a new wall for the Antonio Jose Sucre National High School and the Miguel Otero Silva National School, which were damaged on June 13th of last year. Through this 4th public consultation, we seek to restore the proper functioning of our institution.
Among the proposals presented was the repair and beautification of the facades and infrastructure of educational institutions.
The project we are requesting right now is the construction of the school wall at the high school, because our children and young people are currently affected by this situation. Classes have been divided, they are no longer studying there. One group is studying here, and another is studying down at the health clinic. That is why we urgently need this project.
More than 1,500 projects were chosen across more than 200 communes in the Táchira region, highlighting the popular organization of the Venezuelan people. With this new act of popular participation, the participatory and leading democracy that characterizes the country is evident, along with the new model of popular self-government focused on building a true communal state.
En la cámara de José Luis Briceño, Michelle Ramírez desde el Táchira, Venezuela, para teleSUR.
The Venezuelan government strongly rejected on Monday the new threats and aggression from the United States government. In an official statement shared by Foreign Minister Ivan Hill, the Bolivarian government emphasized it categorically, firmly, and absolutely rejects the new and ridiculous hoax by the Secretary of State of the United States of America, Marco Rubio, who designates the non-existent Cartel of the Sun as a terrorist organization, thus repeating an infamous and vile lie to justify an illegitimate and illegal intervention against Venezuela under the classic U.S. format of regime change. Moreover, Caracas assured this new maneuver will follow the fate of previous and recurring attacks against our country, failure, adding that the Venezuelan people are more united and cohesive than ever, attending to national life in all its dimensions and looking forward to the Christmas festivities. The Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela thus urged the U.S. government to rectify this erratic policy of aggression and threats, which is strongly rejected by the U.S. people themselves, affects the development of the Caribbean peoples, and in no way contributes to a true and genuine fight against illicit drug trafficking. And Venezuelan airline Conviasa has announced that all its domestic and international flights are operating as normal after several foreign airlines announced a temporary suspension of routes to Latin American nations following threats from the United States government. In a statement, the Venezuelan airline specified the Venezuelan Consortium of Aeronautical Industries and Air Services informed the public and its users that all of its flights, both domestic and international, are operating normally. Similarly, the document stated, as Venezuela's flag carrier, our priority is to guarantee the safety and comfort of your journey with the comfort that characterizes our service for your peace of mind. You know, I have our first break coming up. Remember, you can join us on TikTok at teleSUR English, where you'll find news in different formats, news updates, and much more. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back. 4 Salvadoran citizens who had been missing since March in the United States were found in the so-called terrorist detention center described as the concentration camp of El Salvador's President Nayib Bukele. Human rights organizations have already classified the facility as one of the most dangerous areas in the sub-region, used by the United States to carry out forced disappearances of migrant citizens. Irving Quintanilla, William Martinez, Jose Santos, and Brandon Cigaran were illegally expelled according to U.S. judges by the State Department and the Department of Homeland Security, along with more than 200 Venezuelan citizens. They were accused of belonging to the now-defunct Tren de Aragua, a criminal organization dismantled by Venezuelan authorities. Despite the efforts of their families, it was only after intervention of the American Commission on Human Rights that their whereabouts were clarified. And on Sunday, Colombian authorities reported the rescue of 17 minors linked to the Orthodox Jewish sect Leftahor in Antioquia, in the northwest of the country. The Colombian authorities indicated that there were international alerts for possible crimes committed against children within this community. They also stated that some of the minors may have been kidnapped, which would open up the possibility of a case of human trafficking under religious protection. Leftahor, founded in the 1980s, has been investigated in several countries. In December 2024, more than 160 children linked to the cult were rescued in Guatemala, and several of its members are facing legal proceedings for crimes including human trafficking and other offenses. And in Honduras, thousands attended the campaign closing event of Rizzi Moncada, the presidential candidate from the Libre Party, in Tegucigalpa. Moncada called on citizens to defend their vote and democracy, warning that opposition sectors have control over the preliminary electoral results transmission system, which will be used in the elections on November 30th, raising concerns that the system may be hacked. Let's see.
The
National Engineers Coliseum in the Honduran capital was filled with an energetic atmosphere, as thousands of capital residents arrived on their own to attend Rizzi Moncada's campaign closing event. From early on, the venue began to fill with vibrant colors, applause, and citizen enthusiasm. Hundreds of buses are on their way. They say there's no more room inside, but we're ready with screens outside to accommodate everyone. We're prepared to have a civic celebration. And this is a demonstration of strength. Let the bipartisanship see, let the oligarchs see, that Libre is and will always be part of the Honduran people. Of course, we're all ready. This one wins, no one can take it away. It's impossible for us to lose. Just look at the number of people. And this is just a small portion, 10, 15 people from each neighborhood. Imagine if we all showed up. The human warmth was felt in every corner. Young people, women, workers, and entire families raising flags and chanting the name of the presidential candidate from Libre. The Coliseum became a meeting point for collective hope, where it is expected that the project of national refoundation will continue. Well, the youth who, under President Xiomara Castro's government, have benefited from projects like the 90 sports fields nationwide, the 4 hybrid grass stadiums, and scholarships, must confirm on November 30th that these supports continue. Only Libre, with Rizzi Moncada, guarantees the continuation of the refoundation. The universal scholarship for all Honduran youth, eliminating the risk center so young people are no longer seen as criminals, and ensuring they can access credit. This is the government of Libre, this is the government of President Xiomara Castro, and Rizzi Moncada will continue it. The Liberty and Refoundation Party is the party that has grown the most. First, because of the great government led by President Xiomara Castro, with the largest social and public investment in the history of our country. Second, because we have the best candidate, the lawyer, the professor, the one who knows public administration, the one who has demonstrated in every step of her career in high-level positions of state responsibility, a true commitment to the people. The chants, the music, and the smiles created a festive atmosphere where the true protagonist was the people. Every face reflected conviction and the emotion of being part of a moment that, for many, marks a before and after. Yes, that's right. Yesterday we were in San Pedro Sula, an incredible show of support, and of course, Tegucigalpa with the campaign closing that brought together more than 33 mobilizations and important gatherings. These events clearly demonstrate that the only party with organizational capacity and mobilization power is LIBER.
Preparado siempre con la lucha.
Always prepared and with constant struggle to overcome and move forward. Our territory needs a president like Rixi Moncada, and with her, the continuation of the refoundation of the homeland, which has been completely abandoned for years.
Totalmente abandonada por años.
Con una energía desbordante.
With overflowing energy, the people accompanied Rixi with a strength that transcended the stage and became a shared sentiment.
Para teleSUR, desde Tegucigalpa, Honduras, Karim Duarte.
We have our second break coming up. Before we invite you to visit our Facebook page at teleSUR English, there you'll be able to watch our top stories, special live coverage, and much more. Follow our page and activate the notification button to stay up to date on the world's most recent events. Final break, don't go away. Welcome back. Ukrainian and U.S. officials report significant progress this Sunday in Geneva during negotiations on a possible peace deal. The controversial U.S. plan to end the war was discussed by Ukraine and the United States in the presence of Germany, France, and the United Kingdom. Kiev's counterproposal, backed by its European partners, provides for preserving the army and a special Article 5, which stipulates that an attack against Kiev will be considered an attack against all NATO members. This proposal represents a significant change to the one supported by President Donald Trump. Controversy has surrounded the Washington text as the head of U.S. diplomacy is reported to have commented in a congressional session that Russia was behind its drafting. And on Monday, Spain's Attorney General Álvaro García Ortiz resigned after the Supreme Court found him responsible for leaking the tax fraud confession of the partner of the President of the Community of Madrid, Isabel Díaz Ayuso. In a letter, the prosecutor stated that his decision came from profound respect for judicial rulings and claimed to have served with loyalty and a commitment to public service. His departure leaves uncertainty as to who will definitely assume the headship of the prosecutor's office, while responsibility temporarily falls to the Deputy Prosecutor of the Supreme Court, María Ángeles Sánchez Conde. The sentence, which includes 2 years of disqualification and a financial fine, keeps the prosecutor's career in suspense, while the full text of the sentence is awaited. And the provocative statements by Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi regarding Taiwan have drawn international criticism, raising concerns about risks to regional peace and the post-World War II international order. Our correspondent Bruno Falsi brings us more details from Beijing.
Hello from everyone from teleSUR and the audience following us in this transmission. I am in the Chinese capital now to report the controversy sparked by the recent statements from the Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi during a parliament session on November 7. Takaichi stated that the China use of force in Taiwan could constitute a survival threat situation for Japan and hinted at the possibility of military intervention in the Taiwan Strait. These remarks were described by international experts and authorities as a serious challenge to the One China principles, which recognize the People's Republic of China, the country's sole legitimate government, and affirms that Taiwan is part of it. Most countries, including Japan's, since 1972, repeated these principles and resolution approved in the United Nations. In the same year, members of the Vietnam-China Friendship Association warned that statements like this contradict Japan's history and international commitment and represent a resurgence of militarism and historical revisionism. International academics spread that Takaichi has politicized and diplomatic issues, increasing the risk of escalation and tension in the region. The economic impact is already being felt, and Kazuyuki Hamada, a Japanese specialist in politics and economics, warned that these tensions are affecting tourism and key sectors of Japanese economy, with losses that could excel $14 billion, and the situation continues escalating. With this news, we return in the studios in La Habana, Cuba.
An Israeli airstrike on Beirut's southern suburbs on Sunday killed senior Hezbollah commander Haytham Ali Tabatabai along with several others. The strike hit an apartment block in the Harek neighborhood, leaving 28 people injured, according to Lebanon's Ministry of Public Health. Israeli officials confirmed that Tabatabai was the intended target, describing him as Hezbollah's chief of staff. The incident marks the most significant loss for Hezbollah since the November 2024 ceasefire, which was meant to end more than a year of hostilities. Lebanese officials condemned the attack as a violation of the truce, while Hezbollah supporters emphasized the continued importance of resistance. The strike highlights the fragility of the ceasefire and raises concerns about further escalation in Lebanon. And Israel carried out a wave of airstrikes across the Gaza Strip on Saturday, leaving at least 22 people dead and dozens more injured, according to Gaza's civil defense. The strikes hit multiple areas of the enclave, causing widespread destruction and panic among residents. Local witnesses described the attacks as sudden and overwhelming, with families rushing to safety and amid collapsing buildings and debris. The incident adds to the mounting casualties in Gaza and underscores the fragile security situation in the region. And two suicide bombers attacked the headquarters of a security force in northwestern Pakistan on Monday morning, killing 3 officers and wounding at least 5. The attack took place in Peshawar, where City Police Chief Saeed Ahmad reported that one attacker detonated his explosive at the main gate of the provincial headquarters of the Federal Constabulary, while the second bomber was shot and killed by officers near the parking area. According to Ahmad, a large number of security personnel were on open ground inside the headquarters for morning parade drills when the attack occurred. No group has claimed responsibility for the attack so far. We have come to the end of this news brief. You can find these and many other stories on our website at telesurenglish.net. So join us on social media, Facebook, X, Instagram, Telegram, and TikTok. For Telesur English, I'm Luis Alberto Matos. Thanks for watching.